Hello and welcome. I am Kalyani Mali from Kannal Media. It is a pleasure to welcome you all to this important interaction. The banking sector is currently witnessing an important development within its trade union movement. The United Forum of Bank Unions, UFBU, has informed the Indian Banks Association that the National Organization of Bank Officers, NOBO, and the National Organization of Bank Workers, NOBW, are no longer constituent organizations of UFBU. The development has raised questions over the unity and future direction of banking trade union representation. It comes at a time when several long pending issues of bank employees and officers, including FIDE banking, continue to remain on the agenda. To understand these developments, we are joined today by Mr. Satish Shetty, All India Joint General Secretary of NOBO and All India Senior Vice President of Union Bank Officers Organization. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. It is a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you,
Before
madam.
we begin, sir, could you briefly introduce yourself and tell our audience about your role in the banking trade union movement?
Good evening, madam. First of all, thank you very much for Canal for giving this opportunity to air our views on the national channel. Uh, I am Satish Shetty. I am Joint General Secretary of NOBO and also Senior Vice President of Union Bank Officers Organization affiliated to NOBO. I was in the trade union movement for the last 30 years, I can say. We have worked with the various other organizations also earlier, including AIBC. Now we have experience in the area of the trade union. We are keenly observing what is happening in IB level, also with the banking industry. And with the experience, we are trying to get maximum benefits for the officers of the bank. I can say from the NOBO side, we are trying our best to get the best of the things for the officers in the banking.
Thank you, sir. Let us begin with the first question. UFU has recently informed the IBA that NOBO and NOBW are no longer constituent organizations of the forum. Do NOBO and NOBW agree with the decision? And what is your response to UFBU's move?
First of all, I would like to place on record the NOBO and NOBW are the only trade unions with nationalist ideologies. We are in the NOBO and NOBW in UOBU on voluntary basis, not because of any compulsion. And when this decision taken, there was no convener of UOBU for the after the retirement of Mr. Burnley, who retired from the State Bank as a NCBE leader. Now, in the absence of convener, the decision should have been taken with the agreement with all the other constituents, whatever may be decisions. Now, these trade unions, they advise the management to follow the principles of natural justice. Unfortunately, the same trade unions, they are not following the same principles. When you are taking some drastic action against other constituents who were there with for the decades, there was not even a single communication. Somebody, one of the admin of the WhatsApp group, suddenly removes the functionaries of NOBO and NOBW from the WhatsApp group without providing any reason thereof. Now the question comes whether the NOBO and NOBW accept this decision or not. Now there is no question of accepting or denying it because as I told, it was a voluntary organization. UOB is a voluntary organization. Whatever our existence in the UOBU was for the betterment of the banking community. Because if we are together, all the banking trade unions are together, we will have the better bargaining power. By that, we can achieve more goals, more betterment for the banking fraternity. This was the main motto of we are standing with them. But in the UOPU, because of the some one or two constituents, or I can say the mainly majority trade unions, the ego or their own some motive, they taken the sudden decision to remove us. Now, further, I will explain what is the reason behind this. I think this is not the decision or accepting or denying it, and we do not have any problem if we are continued with the UOBU. without that also, because even with them or without them, we are sure to achieve our required things for the banking fraternity. That much I can tell.
Thank you for putting that perspective across. Let us move ahead and understand the reasons that have been given for this decision. As the UFB communication cites organizational reasons for removing NOBO and NOBW from the forum. Beyond the explanation given by UFBU in their circular, what, according to you, actually led to this decision?
Madam, this turmoil was going on quite a few time, I can say. Since the UOBU could not achieve certain of the things, NOBO and NOBW were forced to take the help of the parent organization to pursue some of the issues. Otherwise, we were there with the UOBU and we were having the faith in the unity that we will achieve certain things. But because of some the regions where the UOBU leadership, I'm again telling, because of the some limited interest of some of the leaders, majority union, I can say leaders, all the entire UOBU mode, this the rail that whatever was going on in smooth way is derailed. Somewhere, even the minority unions were feeling the suffocating atmosphere there. I can quote one incident. When the medical insurance issue was to be discussed in the IBA, the representation about the representation there need to be a decision. We the entire UOBU membership, the constituents told everyone from each constituency one person will be representing. But this majority union they have taken the decision. No, no, no. If everybody goes, that will be a problem, and only we three majority from the majority union only we three will go. And you see the funny part of that there from the SBI, two persons, they wanted to represent the medical insurance, wherein they don't have any stake at all. Because medical insurance is applicable other nationality insurance banks, not for the SBI, because they have their own medical reimbursement system. That being the case, not allowing other minority union, they wanted to participate in. That's how they were showing that the minority union should not be in the forefront. Everywhere, the majority union only do this. That being the case, we were we are feeling that some suffocating things happening in the UOBU. Therefore, this decision, whatever they have taken, somewhere we felt that whether we are relieved of that, the suffocating things, whatever happening there. Once again, I'm telling the NOBO and NOBW, they are in the backed by BMS. We are in the best footing to achieve our goals. That much I can confidently tell. For the entire banking fraternity also we request. We stand with us. We will get whatever the fraternity is expecting from us.
Thank you for that explanation, sir. Now, I would like to come to another important aspect that your circular has highlighted the growing role of BMS. So, your circular highlights the increasing role of BMS in taking up long pending issues of the bank employees. Has the growing involvement of BMS changed the dynamics within the banking trade union movement?
This is what really I wanted to cover. Thank you for this question. Now, I was telling that the organization reasons what they have quoted. Now, I will explain what is the organizational reasons the UOBU is feeling. First of all, I think the entire banking fraternity is aware. For the long, we were requesting the managements of the respective banks to provide us a hearing or allow us to participate in the meetings. They constructed the meetings, which was not allowed by the management. I do not know for their own reason, or maybe because of the pressure from these majority trade unions. Now, recently, when our issues we are pursuing, we have because I told when the UOBU failed to pursue our issues, then we had no other alternative than to take the help of the BMS. Then we have approached the BMS requesting their help to get this one platform for us to put our members' grievances before the management of the bank. As a consequences of that, our BMS leadership, they had a long discussion with the finance ministry, none other than Madam Nirmala Sitaraman. He explained that because of not providing us opportunity to the leaders of these minority trade unions, how our members are suffering, whether it's in the transfers, whether other grievances, whether the disciplinary matters. Understanding the difficulty, DFS has issued a communication to the banks to conduct the meetings with the recognized trade unions. you must have observed, the banking fraternity observed, immediately thereafter, this so-called majority trade union, they have sought a letter to the DFS objecting to it. Now, on the one hand, recent in communication, this UOBU is claiming, UOBU means this majority trade union is claiming they are providing the platform in the IBA for the minority trade unions for negotiation. If you are providing, you are uh, so much concerned about the minority union, then why you are worried about the platform given to the minority unions in the bank level? What objection you should have? You are also discussing, you are making the policy making body, you are participating. We are participating to present our members' grievances. This is where the UOBU, so-called majority trade unions, they have heard. They never felt that this whatever way we request them, the government, they never issue because the managements also somewhere they were not having the what is the like I can say so much reluctantly they were not allowing the minority unions to participate in the such meetings. But when after our pursuing, when the DFS issued the communication, now this UOPU leadership, they felt something is going wrong. They felt this BMS is capable of getting the things done. This is where they were hurt. Now another development what happened, quoting the recognized union, they sought the letter. They have mentioned that quote recognized unions means only the majority trade unions we are participating, which are participating in the policy making meetings. For that, surprisingly to them, immediately DFS has sought another clarification guidelines stating that specifically mentioning recognized minority trade unions and associations. So this is where they felt because I don't think once the DFS issues some guidelines, immediately they will issue another clarification guidelines so immediately. This is where the UOBU or majority trade union people they felt that BMS is in a step ahead in getting the things done. That's where they have they're frightened. Now, if the BMS under the umbrella of the BMS, NOBW and NOBO are able to achieve, their existence will be questioned. Being the majority trade union, which they could not perform the duties, they were who are failed. Now, ultimately, if the for them we are the small units. If we are able to get, it is a bad name for them. That's where they have started all those things. They were counting on that. Now, if you see their own communication, which is addressed to the NOBO, they are quoting with whose authority you have approached the BMS and finance minister for pursuing the 5-day banking. See, we are all voluntary, all UOBU, all the unions are the voluntary organizations, so they are independent. And each unit can independently pursue any issues pertaining to the banking fraternity. If at all it helps any of the constituents or the banks or the banking fraternity, UOPU should be happy for about it. Now, see, they are questioning with what authority we have approached the finance ministry for taking up this 5-day week. On the other hand, a few months back, I can in the December 2024 somewhere, none other than the president of AIBC, he met the leader of opposition in parliament, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. And the Rahul Gandhi tweeted their meeting with so much venom against the government and all. And the finance minister was upset about it. And what happened because of that? The whatever achievement UOPU had done or the whatever progress they have made in the matter of 5-day week, it has come to a halt there. Because when you are accusing the ministry that our own government being the part of the PSU, how they will feel? I think it was a setback. No, at that time the UOPU did not question them, the president of AIBC. Now, in the positive way, when we are approaching the ministry to implement these things, no, they have got a difficulty with us. Therefore, they are, I think, our growing whatever way you can say. I'm not telling claiming ourselves we are becoming a big brother for the banking fraternity, but our how we are growing with our achievements because we are not making any publicity. Our own achievements speaks lots about it. Therefore, they are afraid. Left over, they feel that they will be no more in the banking. That's possible. That may be their fear. Therefore, they must have taken this hasty decision. I feel so.
Okay, sir, that was an important perspective. So, as you said, and also it is mentioned in the NOBO and NOBW circular that refers to a meeting with the finance minister at the umbrella of BMS. So, how significant was that meeting in taking forward issues such as 5-day banking, pension updation, and insurance premiums for retirees?
That's again very dear to our heart. The issues, whatever you are quoting, I would like to explain. Before that, just I would like to go back a few time behind when our wage revision, this wage settlement for the last wage settlement was going on. It was as usual. It was taking the long time, nearly almost 1 year. I can say there was no forward movement in the wage settlement at that time itself. Then we felt that because every time it was taking 2 to 3 years to get our wage revision settled. Thereafter, we are finding that immediately thereafter another wage revision time used to come. To avoid that, then we had requested our BMS leadership. Every time it's happening, I do not know why the UOBU is not pressurizing to conduct meeting from time to time. Unnecessarily, it's delaying. Therefore, we have requested kindly put a word to ministry, kindly meet and convey these whatever the feelings of the bankers. Unnecessarily, this delay should be avoided. With that, our leaders they met finance ministry. Madam Nirmala Sitharaman once again, she instructed the secretary to advise the IBA to conclude this wage settlement at the earliest. Which fact, even now, UOPU constituents, there are majority unions, they are not accepting. Okay, that was the apart. Even after that, IBA was not moving with the required speed. Again, once again, we have reminded the BMS leadership. This is again being delayed. We request, I think, the instruction is not properly put to IBA. Once again, they met. Thereafter, never in the history of banking, every week IBA conducted meetings for concluding that wage revision. I can say this on record. Every week, they used to call the UOB constituents. They have concluded that wage settlement. With that, because we got the lot of confidence in BMS, because if at all BMS makes up its mind, anything is possible. Being the largest trade union of the country, they have the authority, they know the tactics, how to pursue the things, and also they know the capability to pursue the matters. Therefore, the other things what we are telling is a 5-day week. This is also, I think, one of the in the forwardment because they have already discussed once or twice before the madam and the pension. I can quote because some of the achievements now is nobody is. I have told we are little backward in the publicity. This is one problem with us because being the part of the Sangh Parivar, we never believe that we have to go for the publicity and other things. For the resignees, means people who are resigned before introduction of the VRS for 2 decades, they were requesting for the pension because at that time there was no scheme of VRS and other things. Whoever resigned, they have gone out of the bank taking some gratuity and other things. This issue, not a big number, I think hardly 3,000, 4,000 people. They were repeatedly they are pursuing with the UOBU and other majority trade unions. Somewhere it was not happening. Then, one fine morning, these people, the group of people, they have approached the BMS. They have requested. This is what happening, sir. About many people out of them, they have died also during the period. They have told just because that scheme was not there, we are deprived of the pension. And our livelihood is very difficult now. Kindly help us. Sir. You may not believe, within 6 months of pursuing that issue, all resignees got the pension. Is it not the achievement of the BMS? These people are not recognizing. Okay. Then for the retirees of 2002, prior to 2002, that issue also we are pursuing. Yogi also pursuing. Never, nothing was happening. Now, because of the persuasion by BMS, we could get the extracia for them. Now, I am sure this pension updation for the banks and the other issues, pending issues. There are many. 5-day week, one of the major issues for the bankers. It's very dear to their heart. And many few other things are also there. That also we are certain we are going to achieve it under the help with the help of the BMS. This is what. Therefore, we are confident that even if the UOBU feels that we should not be with them, we are not worried about it because we know how to pursue these things and how to help our banking fraternity. If at all we are sincere in our efforts, definitely we will get good results for the banking fraternity. That much I can tell.
So, sir, having a proximity with the government, why has NOBO, NOBW, and BMS failed to make 5-day banking happen for more than the last 10 years?
Good, because this was the question asked the many places, our members also. Why these days you have not done and now you are have become active? I already told in my your earlier questions also. We were having the faith in the UOBU. We were having the faith in the unity. We felt when we are in that UOBU umbrella, and we should pursue the matter to with them only, and we should see that somewhere we have with the this unity and this strength of the UOBU, we should achieve it for the long period. It is not the small, it's the long period we have waited for this. All those things, whatever efforts possible, we have done. Later, what has happened? There are some issues I can say where we felt that we are being, I can say, it is the some of the frauds played on us or some of the mischief played on us. During the last wage revision, there were some issues. One is when the discussions were taking place, one of the issue pertaining to LFC at par with the SBI and Reserve Bank of India was discussed. Small committee discussed this issue. Later, in the officers' wage revision committee, also this matter was discussed, and none other than the representative of the IBM presented how the scheme would be and how when it is implemented. To that extent, everything was settled. But what happened suddenly? Then IBA chairman, it seems he called the general secretary of AIBUC, the present general secretary. He called him separately, and what happened between them, we do not know. Suddenly, that entire whatever agreed in the small committees, two committees, I'm telling you, one small committee for leave and LFC, and the officers' wage negotiation committee, both have agreed. Totally, it is dropped from the our settlement. In the joint note that's appearing it will be further pursued like that only that's appeared. And unfortunately, that entire note was not revealed to the other minority union. When the joint note was signed in the IBA, IBA has provided only the selected the pages of the joint note. I do not know what the type of procedure they were following. No, these other things are all produced by all your majority union leaders. You produce only some relevant parts, including the 5-day week, because we are concerned with the 5-day banking at that time. Then we were happy. Oh, okay, 5-day week has come, and somewhere we have our attention left over regarding the other issues, including this LFC. You just tell me when two committees have agreed, and who gave the authority to the ABC leader to forgo that what was otherwise due for the other bankers. That's one thing. Second thing is there was one important issue: the merger of special allowance with the basic pay. This issue also discussed at length in the IBA in the various meetings, but unfortunately, somewhere we could not achieve it. But you see, after the settlement, this is the same ABC leader, general secretary. He is going back to his bank, and there he gets for the SBI officers this special pay, which is eligible for the superannuation benefits, which you have deprived of other banking fraternity. You are getting for your own members. As a leader for the entire banking fraternity, entire officers in the representing the IBA, how you can having foregone for the other officers, how you can separately have another settlement? Is it not mischief played on the other banking fraternity? Because of all these developments, slowly we felt that I have quoted the medical insurance issue also. These are all the experience what the NOBO and NOBW felt. This UFBU leadership or the majority of these leaders, they are no more so much believable, and they are not sincere in pursuing our issues. And then we have started taking help of the BMS because we had no other view. Now, having approached BMS, because until then we were also keeping, because okay, it was our parent organization. But since we are pursuing with the UOBU, we were also keeping that informed the BMS. It is being positively represented to the various authorities. It may achieve. But when we find all those things, we have experienced these bad things. then we have, with all confidence, approached the BMS, and the picture is very clear. IR meeting we got for all the minority unions. You see, even these so-called majority unions also, in few of the banks, they are minority. And for them also, this IR meeting is helpful. But unfortunately, they are opposing it. They don't want their own units in other banks. They don't want to enjoy this IR meetings. This is where we felt that we should take the help of the BMS, and we have achieved it. And I'm telling once again, see, whatever the pending issues, we are with the 5-day week. First of all, we'll 100% will get. Unfortunately, now you must have observed now in the KKS, in Kendriya Karya Samiti meeting of the BMS, at length the banking issues were discussed, and BMS this time they were very alert. Now the developments in the banking, they are also keenly observing. Otherwise, for the BMS, we are a small unit because with the more than 6,000 units, the more than 2 crore membership in the over entire country, for the bank fraternity was a small unit for them. But this time, some of the developments, I can say the joining of the Indian Overseas entire group who belonging to AIBC, switching over to NOBO. This was the marvelous achievement. Then we have explained why they are coming. What has happened there? Why the entire IOB unit of AIBC was not happy with AIBC? Why they have entered the NOBO? You take earlier in the history also. The AIBC is treating their own small units. None other than this IPPB, this India Post Banks. Their unit, they were doing this the wage to settlement to be implemented in their bank. But AIBC has failed to do it. In fact, in the beginning, it was implemented for them. Later, it was withdrawn. At that time, they were members of the AIBC. They are unit of AIBC. They were for the years together, more than 2 years, they were pursuing with the AIBC. The AIBC failed to even address a single letter to their ministry. Then they have come to the BMS with the folded hand. They have requested, since our officers, our members are suffering, you kindly help. And the BMS taken up this issue with all required prospect. Then they could get the wage settlement. Because of that, they have joined entire unit. They have joined NOBO. Similar way in IOB, there were several issues, but the ABC, the leadership failed to even visit their bank, our headquarters, to address their issues. Because of that, with all those developments, the BMS has taken the decision this time. Whatever actions they are taking, banking should also one of the issues. Because of that, in the forthcoming 17th August, all over India, the protest, they have included one of the issue of the 5-day banking, one of the prominent issues. There are several other issues. Among 11 issues, whatever listed, banking is one of the 5-day banking is one of the issues. The moment the UFBU, this majority trade union people saw that notice, they have understood that BMS is certainly going to achieve this. Now, what they did, just to see that they should also make a claim out of it, whatever the BMS is going to achieve, in a lightning speed, they have announced another demonstration before that, few days before that, means yesterday, 12th August. Never in the history, UFBU has taken such a lightning decision. This is the first time in in the UFBU history they did it. Only intention is that, if at all, they know that pretty well they know that the BMS is capable of getting this to the banking fraternity. But they want to say that we have also achieved because of our own fight. They want to make a claim out of that because of their. Therefore, now whatever happening, all is good for the banking fraternity, I can say. NOBO and NOBW is planning for the future. We have one big ambition, I can say. I think for the last 3 decades, I can say almost, the banking fraternity, especially the officers, they are having the feeling that they are the lowest paid workers in the comparable industries, I can say, because the Pillay Committee report is the basis for the salaries of the bank officers. Now, after that report, slowly, because the Pillay Committee has compared 3 major comparable industries. One is LIC, Life Insurance Corporation, then the Reserve Bank of India officers, then Grade A officers of the central government. According to that report, the bank employees, bank officers salary structure should be at par with those three organizations. But what happened? Slowly, in the initial period, it was equal almost or nearby. Slowly, it is depleted like anything. Now, the present, whatever, if you compare it, our the nearest one of the institutions, the LIC, almost it is the double of our. I'm talking about the entry level. The much higher is there in the upper grades. Entry level officers, it is almost our double of the salary the LIC officers they are getting. Now, if you see the risk involved for the banking fraternity, each and every step, each and every movement of the bank officers are very risky. We do not know where we will land in trouble. With all those things, with so much stress on the officers, our salary is half of those. I'm not telling they are working, but the risk comparison, if you make, we have so much risk we are facing. This one thing is in our mind. Of course, entire the officers fraternity in the banking. Now, this time we would like to pursue since we are because last time also we made our demand in the charter of demands in line with that. Unfortunately, we could not pursue in the same line because of I cannot say the since the we are in the UOBU, the way of negotiation was entirely different because what is how it is negotiated for the award staff should not be adopted for the officers also. But unfortunately, the same way it is negotiated, and ultimately we have landed in such a different wage because away from the parity with the other organization, I can say. This is one big ambition we are having, NOBO, to achieve this for the officers community in the bank so that whatever they are sacrificing their life, the family life, work life is not at all there. Now, with all those things we would like to achieve, and that's possible only when the BMS is standing with us. This is what we want, and this is the request we are making to the entire officers community in the banking. Kindly support us, kindly be with us so that we will be able to achieve for all the banking fraternity.
Thank you, sir. That gives us an understanding of why this demand has been pending for so long. And let us now look at what happens from here. With NOBO and NOBW now outside UFBU, what is your immediate strategy? Will you seek reconciliation with UFBU or challenge the decision or pursue these issues through different platforms?
No, after immediately after removing us from the removing means from the WhatsApp group and all, our general secretary Sri Adas he contacted few of the constituents of the UOBU. He had a discussion, and I am not telling he was pleading or other things. He conveyed that this is not the justifiable way they did something with the NOBO and NOBW. Then the things further elongated and they have on record, they have written a letter to the IBA that no more we are part of the UOBU. Now the question is what the IBA will do. Now I have already told outside the UOBU there are other constituents, other trade unions who are directly dealing with the IBA. It is not that only through the UOBU we have to pursue our issues. Now, we are again. I am telling we are not that opposing or against the UOB. Yes, we wanted together. We can do so many things. Our strength will show the good results. But unfortunately, somebody's ego, somebody's vested interest, it has gone for to such an extent. Having done that, we are not again that if at all they want, the UOBU want us to be back in the UOBU, we are open for that, for rethinking. But if they feel that we should separately do our work, we are open. And the IBA has to call us separately. I have already told other even Shivasena is not in the UOBU, they are being separately called. In the same way, IBA will call us separately. NOBW and NOBO will sit separately and discuss our issues. I have told because we know with the experience, with the capability and the advice of the BMS, we know how to pursue the things and we will get it. Absolutely no issue. It will be, I can say, our strength and help of the BMS would have been advantageous for the UOPU. And we never told that they should not make any claim on the whatever achievements we are doing. We have done it. We have not done. I've told you the early wage settlement. We never made any claim that BMS did it. Now, Having done all those things, we had no other go. We have no claiming it is because of BMS it has happened now. Therefore, we are not afraid whether the UFBU will take us back or not. And we are at the same time, we are not opposing that if at all they call us back and asking us to join back, again we'll rethink. Absolutely, we have no reservation about it.
Okay, sir. So, thank you for explaining your position and the way forward. Let us now come to one of the most important long pending demands of bank employees, the 5-day banking week demand. So, 5-day banking week has remained a major demand for bank employees for years, with the government and IBA yet to take a final decision on the issue. BMS has now announced nationwide demonstration on August 17. What do you expect from this demonstration? And do you believe it can create fresh momentum towards the implementation of a 5-day banking week?
Certainly, madam. I will. I would like to highlight that. What is the power of BMS? I would like to explain regarding the privatization, because the many institutions, the government initially they have taken to go for the privatization. HPCL, VPCL, so many other things it was being discussed, and so many other public PSUs were identified for privatization and all, and also some of the banks. At that time, UOBU had called for a demonstration in the Jantar Mantar. Hardly I can say nearly 3 to 4,000 the people gathered there. We have made some show there. But the same issue in I can say November 2022, BMS also called for a demonstration there. They called their entire unit to be present there to opposing this the move of the government. The same BJP government. Then, when the BMS gave the call, there were nearly 35,000 people gathered there. 35,000. You just imagine the mammoth gathering. Looking to that, immediately, without a waste of a single minute, the ministry, none other than the industries minister and other top ministers, they called our BMS top leaders. They requested, why you are doing this? You could have discussed with us. We can have the bilateral discussion, whatever you want. Then they have called our leaders there. Even before our demonstration started in the morning, we were called, and thereafter, all these proposals of the privatization come to an halt. This is the power of the Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh. If at all they feel that something going wrong is being happening to the country or the citizens or the institutions in India, they will never make any compromise with that. Who is there in the power and who is not there. That's the same way. If at all the BMS is taking some steps, they have decided to pursue this matter. I feel that's not a big issue for the BMS to achieve this 5-day banking. But only my concern is that how it has happened in the last meeting with the leader of opposition and doing some other drama and creating that type of thing again should not happen. Now, with the 12th demonstration, okay, UOPU has done their best. Now it is the turn of the BMS. Let them, because it is not the only issue. BMS is having so many other issues on card, including the amendment to the new codes, labor codes. That's also one of the issue. With all those things, if at all the BMS pursuing the matters in appropriate forum with the required strength, I'm not feeling that this 5-day banking one of the issue for the bankers, which is very dear to their heart, not a big thing for them to achieve. The path is very clear, and we are in the right path. We will achieve this. Only thing is, as I have told, the other side, the UOBU, with taking the revenge or other way, they should not do such some act which will again become a hurdle for achieving this the great thing for the bankers.
Thank you, sir. Now let us now look at the fact that both platforms are holding demonstration around the same demand. UFB also conducted demonstration on August 12 over 5-day banking week. With two separate platforms now holding programs around the same demand, do you think this could strengthen the campaign or create confusion among bank employees?
Now, separate. Okay, then in the banking aspect, for the banking fraternity, the 5-day banking is the only issue for which now they have gone for the demonstration or this yesterday. That's good. definitely whatever the trade union way pursuing the matter, really we welcome. It should be there, absolutely no issue. We don't have any opposition for that. But the thing is, after our listing of the issuing the notice for 17th, the EOB has taken decision. That is the very clear that why, what purpose they did it. Now, our 17th demonstration, it is not limited to only the 5-day banking. As I have told, there are several 11 issues that we have listed. And each one of the issue, not only for the banking, all others also, but with the gratuity increase, all these things are affecting even the bankers also. Those things are also there in our 17th demonstration issue. Therefore, now both of them we are fighting. Absolutely, it will not create any opposing type of thing. But only thing is, I have told, limiting this okay demonstration and the trade union way of pursuing these things. Absolutely, we welcome. Let them also do it. It will strengthen us. But they should not do something else as happened in the history. That's only my prayer. Your PU constituents or their leadership kindly do not do such thing which may harm the interest of the banking fraternity. That's all.
Okay, sir. Thank you for sharing your perspective on that. Before we conclude, I have one final question to you. What message would you like to give to bank employees, particularly those who have been waiting for the implementation of a 5-day banking week from so long?
I they request the entire banking fraternity. Now their waiting time has come to an end. I think this is the last fight we are doing, and as I have told, we are very confident with the BMS entry in the for this matter. Very soon we are going to achieve this, and this is one of the so long awaited issue, and banking fraternity very happy. And we are also being the part of the BMS the family. We know how they pursue it and how they achieve all those things. Therefore, I'm requesting the banking fraternity kindly kindly strengthen our hands in the banking aspect, so that we can also tell the BMS, the top leaders, entire banking fraternity is standing with us. They are all joining us in this type of fights, and they should also extend a helping hand for us. This is the only request I am requesting through this forum. The entire banking fraternity to join the NOBW and the NOBO to strengthen our hands, so that the BMS will get stronger hands to pursue this matter. This is my request.
Okay, sir. Thank you for sharing that message. Thank you very much for joining us today and for taking the time to speak with us on these important issues and developments in the banking trade union movement. Thank you once again, sir, for your time and for sharing your perspective with our audience. It was a pleasure speaking with you. And thank you to everyone for joining us. We will continue to bring you conversations and updates on important developments affecting the banking sector and bank employees. Thank you.